When you hit the stage, you came with this like mysterious like vibe that it was like, whoa.
It was honestly a very difficult time. A lot of times when we were filming, with the weather, the change in weather, the lack of sleep, not eating until 8 hours on the set after there's been 10 to 12 hours of filming. Every challenge, I was nervous, but I knew that I was going to make it through. Y'all ain't about to bring me down here to go home again.
What is up, GU? It is your content editor, Danielle, Wright here, and we are at the Essence office, and I am here with the lovely, the talented, the beautiful Sura Ali. How are you? How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good, and I'm so happy to have you here and to get to know you a little bit behind the show. So let's take it to the beginning. So I have to know, what was it like growing up before you became this renowned Sura Ali?
Well, I grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. I done traveled to other places to live, like Mississippi, Harlem, Dykeman, Lincoln Projects. That's in Harlem too. So I done been a lot of different places in New York City, but I'm Brooklyn bred, Bed-Stuy. And I became Sura Ali. Well, I've always been myself, obviously, but going through shit. The traumatic things that I've gone through that made me feel like I didn't really have a voice. So I had to find that. I had to cultivate it because I wasn't getting treated fairly in the house I grew up in. So,
yeah, because I know one of the things that we obviously see from you on season 2 of Netflix's Rhythm and Flow is that you're deep into poetry. So let's talk about that journey a little bit of like, when did you start getting into poetry? How have you grown? Like, what does it do for you as you transcend into music?
Well, my mom and my dad, they were both poets. So it's really in my DNA. But I started really in college when I was a part of the Black Student Union. Again, unfair treatment, that made me feel like I needed to have a voice. And during that time, it was a lot of, police brutality going on. So Freddie Gray, you got Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin really, really, really affected me as if I knew him, I just felt so connected to that situation that I felt like I had to speak about it. And from then, I just kept doing poetry. But because it's so natural to me, I can talk to you right now and it'll sound like a poem.
Yeah.
So it really just comes to me.
You have this like very effortless like vibe to you for sure. I had to ask, like, what do you think is the key to cultivating a good piece of poetry?
It really, I said before, if you see on the episode when Ludacris is talking about what his preference is, So it's really about preference. It can be subjective. Art is subjective. So I think that all poetry is good. I think that you can get a piece out of anything because you speaking on how you feel.
We have poets like yourself that really take us there and, offer us a vision into what exactly is the passion behind your words. But then we also have poets that sound like, what are you even talking about? So like, what is like the key to poetry of like getting your point across, but like not doing too much?
I do spoken word. So there's all different types of poetry. You got haikus, you have short poems, you have family poems, you have poems that speak on people's autobiography. Literally, it could be a history lesson in the poem. So like I said, it's subjective. It's really up to you. Me, I have a preference when it comes to poetry. I like spoken word. I like things that make me feel deeply. That's why when I curate my Black Like Me, my live event series for Black artists and Black artists alike to come and connect and express their traumas and their stories and their successes through their talents, through poetry, through rap, through singing. I choose because I have a preference. So it's really up to you.
Yeah,
I don't like to knock nobody's talents or what they're trying to accomplish or do just because of my preference,
Yeah, love it, love it. So I think this is a really good segue into music. So when was the defining moment that you were like, you know what, I want to take my work and, become a rapper and put some music behind it?
Well, people say that spoken word is similar to battle rap. So I feel like it was an easy transition. I definitely don't rap as good as I do now back then,
Okay.
but I just took a chance with it. And all my friends were saying, "Oh, you can rap. You should do it. You should do it." And then I just kept practicing.
What was your first single, and how do you feel like you've grown since then?
My first single was Very Hot. Y'all can look that up on all streaming platforms. Very Hot is still a fave of mine. It's classic. I made that like 7, 8 years ago, and people still hit me up about that track specifically. The only thing that I've improved on in terms of music is how quick I can write, how I can pick up on certain errors that the engineer probably made, or I know the language now for the things that I need to accomplish. But that's thanks to Netflix, though.
Okay. And I'm glad you brought that up because we have to get into rhythm and flow. So I think one of the major questions that people want to know is like, what is the process to getting on the show? Like, how did you hear about it to be able to audition?
I first auditioned in 2019, and they hit me up before the pandemic happened and said that they want me to do another audition because um one of the judges, like, they really had to say so, and if you proceed to the next round or not. And I just feel like it was divine timing because I rap better now, and I'm stronger now than I was before, and I just have more support. So it was the right time to do it during last year, as opposed to 2019. So they reached out to me. They usually have scouts that look for, artists that are making a name, or that um that they have interest in. I don't know how they found some of the people. They have people from New Orleans. They have people from Atlanta. They got people from Houston. And I've never heard of those people before until we all got together.
Yeah.
So somebody somewhere is doing the scouting
Hmm.
to get people on. So
Got it. Got it. So when you officially auditioned, they were like, you're going to the next round. Like, what was going through your head? Like, what was going through your mind?
every challenge I was nervous, but I knew that I was going to make it through. Like, I just knew, like, I ain't about to bring me down here to go home again. Been there, done that. So I knew it.
Yeah. And speaking of the challenges, because, literally made it all the way to the end.
Mhm.
What challenge was your favorite and why?
My favorite challenge was the singles.
Okay.
My theme song that I made, RNF, Rhythm and Flow. I got to work with great producers for that, people that I never met or heard of before, but they were able to capture my sound. And I was able to show my talents without them giving me a beat that it just doesn't go with a lot of our flows. And that's what was happening a lot to a lot of people. That isn't those beats that was used before the singles round. That wasn't our choice, and a lot of us would have never used those beats.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite challenge.
I love it. Yeah, it was definitely a pleasure watching you on that show. I think that you definitely brought something different that the other cast members were not bringing. I think y'all are all very talented and unique in different ways, but it was like when you hit the stage, you came with this like mysterious like vibe that it was like, whoa, like, and it's so funny because like when you hit the stage, like we knew you were coming because you was ready. Like you was like posted up. Like I really love seeing all of your performances.
Thank you.
So speaking of the show, there was one moment that had social media in a frenzy, which was the underground rap battle between Detroit Diamond and Donna. And I have to ask you your opinion. Who do you think won? Because I feel like there was so many different aspects to it, from Detroit Diamond like hyping up the crowd, but then Donna was like really like hating it. So like, what do you think like wins ultimately in a rap battle?
I think that people gotta remember that it's TV, so it's gonna go based off people's storyline. Sometime we were in Detroit. Why would they send home Detroit Diamond? We are in her city,
Yeah.
you know. I think that both of them did good. Initially, I felt like Donald was supposed to win it. And then I rewatched it again and I was like, oh, well, they both did good. But Like I said, my initial pick was Donna.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you too, because the first time I saw it, I was very confused by the winner, and I was like, "Wait a minute," and then I had to, like, replay it, so you're right. I think that they both brought something different to that rap battle. I still think Donald should've won, but, I get it, I get it. You said earlier that you, improved by being on the show. Were there any moments that the judges, gave you a critique, or was there any moment when you were by yourself that you were like, "Wow, like, I'm really leveling up my skills just being here?"
no, I didn't realize that while I was there. It was honestly a very difficult time. A lot of times when we were filming with the weather, the change in weather, the lack of sleep, not eating until 8 hours on the set after there's been 10 to 12 hours of filming. So I didn't know that while I was there. I didn't realize until I got back and I started making music and stuff. Like I always had to rush or be on a time schedule, a time limit. Like, oh, you have 4 hours to make a beat and then come up with a track. You'll only be back in the studio for one more day, and then the next day you have to perform. So yeah.
Yeah, it was intense. I think sometimes intense situations really do bring like a side of people that they didn't know that they had. And I definitely saw your growth from the beginning all the way to the end of the show for sure. So I loved it. So getting outside of the show a little bit, so you are literally born, bred, and rep the mecca of hip hop. What do you think is missing within this genre right now, and how do you fill that void?
Mm, what do I think is missing? I don't think it's missing anything because you got different genres of rap. If people were still focused on where hip hop started, then it wouldn't be no um what's the word? It wouldn't be enhanced or it wouldn't be shifted or it wouldn't be changed. I like um New York music and I do like LA music. I mean, I listen to old music because it's pushed on me and I'm listening to the radio. But I think that hip hop has everything that it needs. I just think that um some people that are starting to try their rap journey now in their late 20s and early 30s, I think that they should try to do something else because I don't think that rap needs that.
So winding down in our interview, what can we look forward to Sura in 2025?
So, like I stated before, I curate a Black Like Me, an event space for Black artists and Black artists alike. So I'm going to North Carolina to do a travel show over there. I'm taking Black Like Me on tour.
Cool.
I'm going to go to Atlanta and I'm going to go to LA because a lot of places that after the show, I traveled a lot. Like I just went to go tap in with a lot of the other artists, check in with them, making sure that I kept my connections with them. And that's one thing. Second thing is, of course, the music, albums, tapes. I'm going to come out with a 3-song EP. I already have an EP out called Ali the Tape, and that has 5 songs on it. It gives very New York. What else? Oh, yeah. And hopefully I'll be in Essence Fest this year, too,
Love it.
with more things like BT and Disney World and stuff like that.
Love it.
Anything.
Sura to the moon, literally.
Ali for president.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Sura, for being here today. And Sura, where can we find you on social media?
Y'all can follow me on Instagram. Y'all can subscribe to my YouTube. Y'all can go on TikTok at the.Sura Ali. That's THE.SURAALI. And then y'all can find me Sura Ali on all distribution platforms.
Love it. Well, thank you, Sura Ali, for being in the building today. And that's a wrap.